Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name's Samantha and I make videos on minimalism, personal finance and intentional living. So as the cost of living shoots up, I thought it might be a good idea to create a video listing out a number of ideas as to how to generate additional income. All of these ideas I have either first-hand experience of or I've seen close family and friends do them, so I know that they are proven ways to generate additional income. To give you some context as to what my personal circumstances are, I work full-time in the media, I have a young baby, and I also have a small social media company which is essentially my side hustle. I've created a series of budget videos on this channel which goes into more detail, and I've explained how my costs have really shot up in the last year or so. My baby is super expensive. You know, there's toys, there's nappies, there's clothes, so the costs just keep coming. And also I've moved out of my family home. My husband and I used to live rent-free in my parents' house, but we've now, because our family has expanded, we've actually moved to a flat nearby, and that means that we need to pay rent. And between rent and childcare, our costs are astronomical compared to what they used to be. So I'm really in money saving mode now and money generating mode, and if you're interested and want to follow my journey, make sure to subscribe. So without any further ado, let's get straight into the list. The way that I've broken this list down is into categories, and within the categories I have several different ideas that you could try. So the first and easiest way to increase your income is to reduce your costs. So the first thing I would suggest doing is going through your direct debits and your standing orders and seeing what you could cut, what you don't need anymore. So do you need all those subscriptions you have? Do you need to have several streaming subscriptions? Do you need your Amazon Prime membership? Do you need all those paid for apps on your phone? Be very diligent, go through your account, see what goes out regularly, and really consider whether you need those things that you're paying for. The next tip is specifically for parents. If you're a parent, then look into renting toys rather than buying them. Kids get tired of toys so quickly, and I quickly realized that it wasn't worth it for me to keep buying Jess Min toys that might cost between £15 to £20 when she only played with it for a week or so. I did wonder, why isn't there a service where you can rent toys? And then I googled, and there definitely are lots of services like that. So the service that I use is called Whirly, and I really recommend them. I rented about 20 toys from them. I took out my subscription in February. I paid £21, £15 for my bundle and £6 for postage and packaging. The postage and packaging that they use is also recycled, which is great. I've had very quick customer service and I recommend them all the time. Obviously this is not sponsored, my channel is way too small for that, but I do have a referral code because everybody who uses Whirly does have a referral code. So if there are any parents in the UK who wants to try it, I'll leave my code down below so you can get some money off. My next suggestion to reduce your costs is to switch out the brands that you're using. If you're using name brand things, could you potentially switch it to supermarket owned brands? So for us, for example, we used to use water wipes for Jess Min's nappy changes, but we recently switched to Pampers wipes, and that's actually reduced our costs for wipes by 50%, believe it or not. So simple swaps like that could work. I mean, we could go even harder and start using cotton and water, but I'm not going to do that. It's really up to you as to where you want to make your cutbacks, but just start and then you'll start to see that a snowball effect does take place. I mean, who knows, I might end up using cotton and water, but don't hold me to that, it's not a promise. The next category as to how to increase your income is to invest your existing money wisely. So for example, explore reward current accounts. So most people have a current account where they do their day-to-day transactions, and I don't know if you know, but a lot of banks will reward you for banking with them. So I bank with NatWest and I've recently upgraded my current account to a rewards account, and in the last couple of months I've earned £9, which is essentially free money. The next idea is to put your savings into high yield savings accounts. So if you're lucky enough to be in a position to have savings, please make the most of high yield savings accounts. The terms are really generous and you really make your money work for you. The next suggestion carries on from that. If you've actually maximized all the thresholds for high yield savings accounts, then maybe invest the rest of your money into stocks and shares ISAs. That's a great way of getting into the stock market. It's low risk, the banks do everything for you. You don't have to go into things like cryptocurrency, which you may or may not understand. The next category as to how to increase your income is all around your job. So you have to change your job situation. So a way to do that is to negotiate a pay rise. I've successfully negotiated a £10,000 salary increase in the past. So in order to do that, you have to be in good standing with the company, you need to bring in tangible results, and you also need to have a very good relationship with your bosses. I wouldn't recommend asking for a pay rise if you've been in a job for less than a year, but after that you could start thinking about it. But within that time, you must have obviously proved your value to the company. So when asking for a pay rise, I wouldn't just spring it on your boss and ask them directly. What I would do is warm them up by sending them an email first. When you write the email, start by saying that you're very happy within the company, then go directly into stating that you're looking for a pay rise. Then the third paragraph should be a summary of all your achievements, things that they can't argue with, and then fourthly, just finish with saying that this is why you believe you deserve a pay rise. So they might say no, and don't be disheartened by that. They might come up with some vague reason as to why they can't give you a pay rise. They might say that the company isn't generating enough revenue to be able to cover a pay rise, but really, to be honest with you, that's not your problem. Listen politely, say you understand, but then hold firm and say that you'd like to revisit the conversation and ask for a timeline as to when you can do that and what they want to see in the meantime from you to make a pay rise actually happen. So when I negotiated my pay rise, it took about a year. I actually kept going back to my bosses every quarter. I was very polite, but I was very, very firm. I kept reassuring them that I loved my job, which I did, but I did make it clear that I needed to see more money. And also another tip is to make sure that you negotiate hard. So I would have been quite happy with a 5k pay rise, but I asked for 10k because I wanted to give us some room to negotiate. Another way to increase your income is to change jobs. On average, when you change jobs, your pay increases by 10 to 20%, which is significant. If you end up staying in a company for quite a long time, your income does tend to stagnate. The next idea is to get a part-time job. Now, this will actually bump up your earnings by quite a lot, but it has a very obvious downside. It takes up a huge amount of time and energy, and there is a risk of burnout. So this is not a strategy that I'd recommend for the long term. Another way to increase your income is to explore other career avenues. So if you're not happy in the role that you're in right now, if you don't feel fulfilled, if you don't think you're getting paid enough and you dream of more flexibility and more money, then why not look into other career avenues? So for example, if you're good with children and you have some experience of looking after children, why not explore a career in childminding? Most parents I know are willing to pay so much for a reliable childminder who takes really good care of their children. Now, obviously, it's not like, oh, I want to be a childminder and you become a childminder tomorrow. You actually have to put in some work. You need to get the relevant qualifications. You need to create the appropriate setup. But once you've done all that, it could really bring in the results that you're looking for. So the next category as to how to increase your income is all to do with side hustles. The first side hustle that I'm going to recommend is becoming an online English tutor. If you're a native English speaker or you're fluent in English, then this could be a pretty good option for you. You'll need to get a TEFL certificate or something equivalent, and you'll need to find some good websites that will give you clients. What I'll do is I'll link a video down below where somebody breaks down in detail as to how to go about this option. Another side hustle you could explore is becoming a virtual assistant. I have actually employed virtual assistants in the past. As I explained, I have a small social media company called London City Girl. I run the YouTube channel myself where I create educational videos, but we also have a website, a Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram, and I like to outsource the running of those platforms to virtual assistants. And I personally feel that I pay a really good rate. So there are always people out there who are looking for copywriting skills, for people who can manage their diaries or manage their social media platforms, etc., etc. So if you're up for the challenge, why not become a virtual assistant? One of the main cons of becoming a virtual assistant, though, is to find regular high-paying clients. I think the wisest thing to do would be to invest in finding repeat clients that pay a good rate. I'll link a video down below that presents a realistic view of what it takes to become a virtual assistant. Any good resources and any videos that I mention in this video will be linked in the description below. The next suggested side hustle is to create a shop on Etsy. If you're at all crafty, then why not create bespoke, handcrafted items that you can sell on Etsy? As with all the other side hustles I mentioned, you really do have to invest your time and energy into making sure you can build up momentum and make those sales. And my final suggested side hustle is to become an influencer. Pick a platform, be it TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, whatever. Create an audience and then monetize your content by either selling directly to your audience or creating sponsored content. Now that sounds a lot simpler than it actually is. To give you some idea of how difficult it is to build an audience, on YouTube there are about 40 million YouTube channels and only 4.4 million of them are actually monetized, i.e. they have over 1,000 subscribers. Now this channel, my channel, has 3,000 subscribers, and across this year I've generated £80, which is basically peanuts for all the work and effort that I put into this channel. So for me, this is really a hobby rather than a side hustle. My next two tips don't really fit into any category, so let's just label them miscellaneous ideas. The first one is to rent out any unused space. You can rent out pretty much anything. So if you have a spare room in your house, you can get a housemate, or you can list that room on Airbnb. You can rent out your parking spot, your shed, or even any unused space in the attic. And the final way to generate additional income is to declutter and sell stuff that you no longer need. When I began my decluttering and minimalism journey several years ago, I decluttered lots of items, and the adage is so true that one person's trash is another person's treasure. I have generated hundreds of pounds from selling all unused, unwanted things, and to be honest, I've not even been that aggressive with selling things. I've donated lots of things that I could have potentially sold. So guys, with that I come to the end of my video. I hope you found this video inspirational. I hope it gave you some ideas. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you all next week. Bye!